Welcome back to the news at 10. The need for the federal government to support the growth of small businesses in Nigeria has become more important due to the rise in the high cost of operations. But to achieve this, the federal government must scale a major hurdle, and that is to find a lasting solution to the erratic power supply across the country. That's because many businesses rely on generators as an alternative source of electricity, a problem that has led to the closure of many firms. Our community report tonight takes us to Ibadan in Oyo State, southwest Nigeria, where residents and business owners are calling on the government to find a lasting solution to power shortages.
Now you're talking.
Modern life is unimaginable without electricity. It lights houses, buildings, streets, and provides domestic and industrial heat. Improving access to electricity is undoubtedly critical to alleviating poverty. But sadly, here in Nigeria, the generator is a show of affluence, and this is usually the source of electricity for most Nigerians. Ibadan, the capital of Oyo State, is on a mission to ensure the residents enjoy regular power supply. But standing against this dream has been the lack of real power by leaders who should understand the benefit of this to the economy. Instead, what is in vogue are generators which are done shops, buildings, and workshops. It will not be surprising to find that the generator engineer is probably one of the most financially secure individuals in the city, because all users of the set will at one point or another require his service. According to statistics from the United States Energy Information Administration, Nigeria ranks amongst countries with the lowest kilowatt consumption per person. These residents, mostly business owners, have a few words to air on the matter.
I prefer generator than NEPA because they don't used to bring it the time I need it.
Every month we are paying NEPA bill. Every time I bring in NEPA bill, we are paying money. So we don't enjoy light, no light. We are suffering for light.
For the past 3 days now, at times 5 days, it's not encouraging at all.
The regulators on their part attempt to explain the reason for the blackouts.
From the base estimated maximum demand for the whole of Nigeria at about 9,000 megawatts, the available supply that is being distributed all across is even for now less than 4,000 megawatts. So generally, the very common reason for such erratic power supply is this what we call load shedding, because of insufficient supply coming from the national grid.
Nigeria is a country blessed with coal, natural gas, oil, hydro, and other renewable energy sources that can be used to generate electricity. So why has there been a problem with successive governments harnessing these qualities? That answer could just be found at the bottom of the well.
Now you're talking.
The leadership of the Nigeria Labour Congress has rescheduled its aborted election to choose new national executives to March 12, 2015. The union picked the date after meeting behind closed doors for about 10 hours in Abuja. The meeting was mediated by former Labour leaders, including Hassan Sumunu, Ali Chiroma, and Governor Adams Oshomole of Edo State. According to Governor Oshomole, the irregularities in the ballot papers, which led to last week's inconclusive election, was never an attempt by any candidate to manipulate the polls. The meeting also agreed that the union's National Executive Council, led by Abdul Wahid Omar, will remain in acting capacity. The Christian faithful have been advised to live in peace and conduct themselves in a civil manner as the general elections approach. Speaking during this year's Ash Wednesday service, the vicar of St. James Anglican Church, Asokoro, Venerable Prince Will Iroba, asked Nigerians and Christians in particular to remember the essence of the Lenten period, which signifies forgiveness and love for one another. On his part, the Minister of Power, Professor Chinedu Nebo, called on those vying for political offices to focus on how to make people's lives better. Arik Air Nigeria's flag carrier airline has commenced scheduled flight operations from Lagos, Nigeria to Abidjan, the Ivorian city, via Cotonou, Benin Republic. At the flag-off of its inaugural flight from Murtala Mohammed International Airport in Lagos, the Senior Vice President Operations, Captain Ado Sanusi, said the airline is continuing in its tradition of connecting people and places. The Lagos-Abidjan service is Arik Air's first new route in 2015. It marks the airline's 7th destination in West Africa. Our aviation correspondent, Bukola Joe Oketumbi, reports.
Within the Murtala Mohammed International Airport in Lagos, the Arik check-in area bubbles with life. Then a short prayer and some pep talk.
This shows how Arik Air is expanding, connecting to West and Central Africa, and connecting both the Francophone countries and the Anglophone countries.
Shortly after, passengers begin to board, and it's off to Arik's new destination via Cotonou in Benin Republic. For Arik Air, route development remains at the center of its business as new destinations help to connect more businesses and places. Hence, this inaugural flight. Some passengers on board expressed their feelings about this new connection.
In West Africa, Lagos and Abidjan, they are the biggest economic bloc we have in the region. So therefore, any direct flight between these two countries is going to go a long way to promote business between the region.
It's very useful for me because I don't have to fly throughout West Africa, so it was a direct flight from Abidjan, so that's very good.
2 hours after, Abidjan, the former capital of Côte d'Ivoire, is in sight. An elated ambassador of Nigeria to the French country speaks on the economic impact of this connection, while a senior Arik official says this is a dream well carried out.
What we said about before coming to Abidjan was to extend the quality service that people within the region have been enjoying for so long to the people in Abidjan. And like the ambassador rightly mentioned, we have a lot of Nigerians residents in Abidjan. We also have a lot of Nigerian businesses that are in Abidjan, so there is a lot of traffic.
An aspect of it is the BASA, Bilateral Air Services Agreement, which we renegotiated last year on the 1st of January or July here in Abidjan. So Air Côte d'Ivoire has already started flying, so now Arik is taking the part of Nigeria.
This new route is Arik Air's 7th destination in the West African sub-region. From Abidjan in Côte d'Ivoire, Bukola Joe Oketumbi, Channels Television News.
First Bank. You first.
Thanks for staying with us for Business News on the News at 10. I am Gimba Umar. The House of Representatives has constituted a special committee to meet with the Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, over the fall in oil prices at the international market. The challenges surrounding the slide in oil prices has been one of the primary reasons why the 2015 budget of the federal government is yet to be passed by the National Assembly. The House went into a closed executive session lasting 3 hours, after which it decided to set up a meeting with the Minister of Finance and the Budget Office to iron out grey areas on the budget towards a speedy passage. The Central Bank of Nigeria has announced the closure of RDAs and WDAs foreign exchange windows. The CBN in a statement explained that it took this action to avert the emergence of a multiple exchange rate regime and preserve the country's foreign exchange reserves. The regulator has therefore advised that all demands for foreign exchange should be channeled to the interbank foreign exchange market. The bank says that in recent times, the sharp decline in global oil prices and the resultant fall in the country's foreign exchange earnings have widened the margin between the rates in the interbank and the RDA's window. This has encouraged round-tripping, speculative demand, rent-seeking, spurious demands and the inefficient use of scarce foreign exchange resources by economic agents. All members of the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, are meeting in Lagos to brainstorm on the harmonization of the community's strategic framework for years 2016 to 2020. Well, at the three-day meeting, which commenced today, experts are expected to dwell on mechanisms to help realize a citizens-oriented community plan on the Vision 2020 framework. According to the Strategic Planning Director of ECOWAS Mission, Mr. Abel Essien, the forum will see the formation of a technical committee that will coordinate the various regional aspirations of each member state. The Nigerian equities markets pushed deeper into positive territory as key indicators rose by 2.55%. Emana Ambrose Amawe reports.
Hello and welcome to the Stock Market Report. It was another bullish session at the Nigeria equities market as key indicators rose for a third straight day. Gains recorded by some market heavyweights pushed the all-share index up by 2.55% to end midweek session at 29,177.58. Market capitalization grew to 9.73 trillion naira. Seplat led 29 other gainers, which include Dangote Cement and Guinness. On the flip side, investors gave 11 equities the cold shoulder, and top on that list was Forte Oil, which lost 4 naira 94 kobo. It is followed by Julius Berger and Flour Mill. Bank stocks were the major volume drivers for the session, with Axis Bank pulling the highest shares at 115.13 million. When the closing gong rang, volume rose to 424.32 million shares, exchanged in 4,731 deals, valued at 3.49 billion naira. And that's it on the Stock Market Report. I'm Emana Ambrose Amawe.
And that is indeed it on Business News on the News at 10. I want to thank you so much for being part of it. Of course, Amarachi will be back with more of the news bulletin as we leave you with the global markets.
First Bank. You first.
Still ahead on the news at 10, Guinea puts Nigeria's qualification for FIFA Under-17 World Cup on hold as they force the world champions to a 1-1 draw at the CAF Under-17 Championship. We have more in sports news. Please stay with us.